Okay, well, I'm going to make a quick deviation from our next video on toys, which is about why you can very confidently get rid of all of the big toys at your house. But after the last video on getting our friends and family to give less toys, there were so many comments about people saying about how their moms will sometimes give them a really hard time if they get rid of stuff that they've given to their children. And so we are all so fortunate. If we have a mom, we're so lucky. And I don't say that like in a light or flippant way. Truly, we are blessed to have moms if we do. And so it might be a mom in your life or another family member or friend, but if you have a person who's kind of gives you a really hard time if you get rid of anything, I just have a couple ideas for you coming up next. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from theminimalmom.com. It's been really eye-opening, honestly, going through this video series on toys. There's just a lot of emotion and stuff that goes into it. And so it can feel a little draining, and certainly if we feel like a family member, the word mom came up a lot, that a lot of our moms give us a hard time if we get rid of stuff that they've given us. And that can add to kind of our hesitancy towards getting rid of toys. But it's hard because a lot of us believe that our kids would be happier if we had fewer toys. So what do we do? You know, when I found out that I was pregnant with our oldest, she's almost 8 now, I was so excited. We weren't living as minimalists at the time, and my mom and I would go garage selling, we'd go to thrift stores, and we'd find clothes and toys. But then what happened was a little further down the road, we had our second and our third and our fourth, and I started to kind of realize that, oh, maybe all this stuff isn't adding to our life. And, you know, we kind of quietly became minimalist. And a lot of my friends and family still don't know, which I'm totally fine with, because I want to put information out there for people who are seeking it and who are looking, you know, for these ideas. If people are living happily with their stuff, or they're not in a place where they have the emotional energy to deal with it, that's fine. I am not here to judge anyone. What happened was I started kind of changing the rules, but yet my mom didn't know that, you know, so she's still bringing toys, and the kids are super excited when she shows up at our house and she has new toys from a garage sale or different things like that. And so I start getting frustrated. She doesn't know why. And then what happened after a little while, when she started realizing that I was getting rid of these toys, is I think she kind of started to see me as this kind of like angry gatekeeper, you know, who was like, no, don't bring toys into our house because it's making my clean house messy, and I don't care if the kids like them. I want a clean house, and I want to be a minimalist, and minimalists don't have toys, you know. And it kind of felt like she didn't really think I cared what the kids thought, that I just didn't want toys anymore. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. I mean, I might be a minimalist, but I'm not heartless, you know what I mean? And so everything I do is for the benefit of my kids and with them in mind. And so it wasn't the truth, but I can look back now and see how that had become her perception, because I just kind of started getting rid of stuff, and I didn't take her along with the journey of how I decided to live this way. And so I think that one way we can help manage this dynamic with our parents is to actually explain to our mom or whoever it is why we've decided to scale back the toys. You know, I mean, there is a ton of research out there that shows, especially if any kids suffer with ADD or ADHD, and depression or anxiety is becoming a lot more prevalent in kids, that then having, you know, a lot of toys and a lot of clutter around them can exacerbate the symptoms, and it certainly isn't helpful. There's even some places in Europe where they'll actually for months at a time remove all the toys from the kids' playroom or schoolroom to encourage creativity. And so for most of us now, especially if you're watching this video, you've developed some kind of value for living more simply, and you believe that your kids will be better off with less toys. But our mom doesn't know that. And maybe you've tried to explain it unsuccessfully or not. And so I just think if you haven't kind of invited your mom into this thought process, that it might be helpful to just kind of sit down with her and say, you know, I think maybe we're not on the same page when it comes to toys, and I just want to explain to you some of the things I've learned, and I really think the kids would be happier with fewer things, whether that means we're rotating them, or I'm gonna go ahead and donate some to other families that could, you know, better use them. but to actually kind of explain to her your logic behind it, and that you have put a lot of thought into it, and ultimately you're just looking out for what's best for your kids. Because if she's like my mom would do anything for our kids. I mean, I think loves them more than she loves me, right? I mean, she wants what's best for them too. And so if your mom can start to understand, that maybe this would be in your child's best interest, that might help. And then, I don't know what your relationship has been like with your mom. I realize now, looking back, that when I first got pregnant and stuff, I had Baby Center and the internet at my fingertips, and I did not need my mom for anything. I didn't ask her advice. I didn't ask her, because I just Googled it all, and I felt like the moms on the internet knew best, and they were more current. They were going through what I was going through. And so I think there were times where I probably hurt my mom's feelings and maybe offended her a little bit, feeling like she wasn't needed anymore, and that I didn't value her input or her advice or her experience. And so there could be some of that in your relationship too, that we might just have to go back and be like, you know what, I am so grateful for how much you care about our kids and how much you've given them. My mom is so generous. And yeah, a lot of times it comes through in expressions of toys, and that kind of thing, but in so many other ways too. And just to let our moms know that we really do appreciate all that they do, the toys they buy, the experiences they give, everything that they do for our kids. And that even though we've decided that we want to get rid of some of these toys, it doesn't mean that we're any less grateful, and that we really do appreciate all that they do for us. A lot of times I try to just kind of slip stuff out of the house, not let the kids notice, not let any other relative notice. But looking back now, I think there are some times where I could have communicated a little bit better with my mom, kind of kept her in the loop with what we were doing, and explained to her that me purging toys in no way was related to me not appreciating her. I hope this helps. I know, communication with our moms can be difficult, and there can be history involved and all kinds of things, but I do hope that this can help a little bit if you find yourself in this boat. And if nothing else, I hope you do know that you're not alone, that this is something that a lot of us have had to deal with at some point or another. But in the end, I do think it's a worthwhile pursuit. I do think simplifying your home is going to lead to just a more peaceful environment and your kids being happier too. So I think you're on the right track, and I do feel for you if you sometimes feel like you're getting pressure, from other people around you. It's not always easy, but I do think it's worth it. So I hope this helps. I hope the other videos in our toy series help as well. Leave a comment. Let me know your experience with this. Certainly, if you have any advice or other ideas, leave that down below. We all need to know what it is. And let's keep in touch. Be sure to subscribe so that you're notified when new videos are released. And a thumbs up is the best compliment that you can give us.